In this video, let's take a look at some of the ways that we do COGO in the TraverseView, really almost without thinking about it. I'm going to create a new traverse up here to the north of Lot 3 called Lot 4. So I'm going to start a new traverse, call it Lot 4. And I'm going to use a deed with curve format and property lines to draw it. Okay, so let me bring this down close here. I'm going to start by recalling 7 and 8. So I recalled this north line of Lot 3 from 7 to 8, and I'm using the same points in the same line. And now I want to take off north easterly using the same bearing as 3 to 8. So I use something called an equation here. In the bearing column, I just type 3.8, press enter, and Traverse PC recalls the bearing between those 2 points. I can do the same thing with distance, 3.8, but this time I'm going to go just halfway, so divided by 2. And I went half the distance from 3 to 8 because I did that qualifier divided by 2. Now I can do that for bearings. I can say this bearing from this point to this point plus 90, that sort of thing, and put those plus or minus, multiply or divide in for the distance as well. Now I'm going to enter till I get down to the next point, and I want to extend this line. So I could recall 3.8 again, or I can just press the space bar, enter, and Traverse PC recalls that bearing. Same with distance, space bar, enter. Really a great way for me just to pull in that last piece of information. Now, let's do that equation again as we go from parallel to the line from 8 to 7. So 8.7 will bring me back that direction. And let's do the same thing for the distance, 8.7. Pretty neat. Now, if I want to put in a curve, and I want the curve here to be a tangent, okay, I can simply just put the radius in and the arc length. So maybe I have a real short curve here with a radius of 40 and an arc length of 12. Okay, Traverse PC is going to draw that in for me. Now, if the curve is to the left, I could do a minus 40. And again, Traverse PC is going to remember that tangency there. Let's do a little bit farther than 12 feet, just so we can kind of see the curve develop. Okay, see how nice that is? So because I didn't specify any orientation to the curve in the Traverse view, I just gave it some curve information like the radius and the arc length. Traverse PC said, in the absence of anything to define the orientation, I'm going to have that curve be tangent. Now, remember how we recalled the bearing before? If I put the cursor in the bearing column and press space, I get the outgoing tangent of that curve. Okay, and the outgoing line here from 27 to 28 is also tangent to that curve. Kind of a neat way, whether I'm doing a curve or a spiral there, if I want to maintain that tangency, this is just a real easy way to do it. And now I can go from 28 to 7, and the distance 28 to 7, and I'm back to the start of Lot 3 over there. So I just wanted you to see that how I can recall the bearings with the equations, how I can press the space bar to bring up the last bearing or distance, how I can start a curve that is tangent and to recall the tangent bearing coming out. And you notice that last course I put in was non-tangent and put an angle point in there at 28. But just some neat way to do COGO right inside the Traverse view.